The issue with humans wasn't that they fought dishonorably. It wasn't even that they fought intelligently. The real problem was that they fought as if they were already dead. Supreme Commander Yellcraft of the Z Empire stood in his war chamber aboard the command carrier, observing the planet below. Humans called it Earth. To the Z, it was just another conquest, another rebellious world that needed to be brought under control. They had crushed countless civilizations, transforming proud species into obedient subjects. It was routine, yet something about this campaign unsettled him. His second-in-command, General Vac, stepped forward. The orbital bombardment was thorough. All major cities on the northern continent are crippled. Industrial capacity is reduced by 68%. Resistance exists, but it is scattered and weak. Yellcraft watched as a holographic display flickered to life. Small clusters of human military forces, marked in red, were scattered across continents. A pathetic display. "Then it is time to begin ground operations," he declared. Vac hesitated. "Supreme Commander, with all due respect, I recommend continued bombardment. Deploying ground forces is unnecessary." Yellcraft's mandibles clicked in irritation. "Are you suggesting cowardice?" "No, Supreme Commander. I am suggesting efficiency." Yellcraft turned back to the planet, a ruin of black smoke and shattered cities. The humans should have surrendered by now. Any rational species would have. "Deploy the legions. I want their leaders dragged before me." The order rippled through the Zan fleet. The first wave of landing craft descended toward the surface. Millions of seasoned warriors, armed with the most advanced weapons in the galaxy, stepped onto human soil. The invasion of Earth had begun. The silent city. The city was silent. Too silent. Commander Gravel led his battalion through the shattered streets of what humans once called Chicago. The buildings still stood, but their windows were blackened, their walls scarred. His warriors moved in perfect formation, weapons ready. Their sensors indicated no immediate threats. That was the problem. "Where are they?" one of his officers muttered. Gravel felt it too. Z military doctrine dictated that after an orbital assault, resistance should be weak and uncoordinated. Yet, there were no civilians. No enemy soldiers attempting desperate ambushes. Just an eerie silence stretching in every direction. Then came the first shot. A single, precise crack in the distance. One of his warriors collapsed. The bolt had punched straight through his helmet. Sniper, the Z soldier scrambled, taking cover behind wreckage. Their scanners swept the area, searching for the attacker. Nothing. No heat signatures. No energy readings. Another shot. Another soldier fell. Panic spread. The Z were not used to fighting ghosts. Battles were meant to be swift and decisive, overwhelming the enemy with brute force. But here, they were the ones being hunted. A shadow moved. Gravel fired. A figure darted across the street, moving too fast. Another shot rang out. His second-in-command crumpled. Still no sign of the enemy. Only that same oppressive silence. "They are ghosts," one of his soldiers whispered. Gravel bared his fangs. "No, they are cowards. Advance and flush them out." It was a mistake. The moment they left cover, the ambush began in full force. Explosives hidden in the rubble tore through their ranks. Gunfire erupted from every direction. Yet their scanners remained blind. The humans weren't using energy weapons. They were using projectiles, ammunition that left no thermal trace until impact. And they knew the terrain. Every collapsed structure, every ruined road was a trap. The Z were powerful warriors, but they were fighting an enemy that did not fight fair. Gravel barely had time to react before something moved in his peripheral vision. A human emerged from the wreckage, weapon raised. The commander turned to fire. The human had already pulled the trigger. The last thing Gravel saw was the expression on the soldier's face. Not rage, not fear, just a look that said, "I already know how this ends." The fear of the invincible. Supreme Commander Yellcraft stared at the reports streaming in. Entire battalions missing. Communication failures. Infiltration tactics the Z had never encountered. This was supposed to be simple, he muttered. The orbital bombardment should have shattered human defenses beyond recovery. Instead, the ground forces were being wiped out one by one. They are not engaging us directly, Vac said, studying the tactical display. They strike in small units and vanish before retaliation is possible. Yellcraft's claws dug into the armrests of his throne. He had underestimated the species. The Z were bred for war, but war had always been one-sided. They overwhelmed. They crushed. They conquered. They had never fought an enemy that refused to play by their rules. Deploy the heavy units, he ordered. Scorch the ground if we have to. Vac hesitated. That will slow our ability to extract resources. The planet will be ruined. Yellcraft clicked his mandibles in frustration. Then find a way to break them without destroying everything. The general hesitated, then, with visible reluctance, suggested, there may be one way. We take their civilians. Force them to surrender. Yellcraft considered this. It was brutal but effective. They had used it before. Most species surrendered quickly when their families were at risk. Do it, the mistake. The first sign that something had gone wrong came when the transport ship stopped responding. The squad sent to secure prisoners. None of them reported back, Vac said, voice uneasy. Yellcraft's mandibles tightened. What do you mean? All tracking beacons show movement, but not toward our extraction zones. They're being led away. A cold realization crept over Yellcraft. They are being taken. Vac nodded. The humans are capturing our soldiers. Yellcraft's claws clenched. The Z Empire had fought and conquered countless species across the galaxy, but they had never been captured. Defeated enemies surrendered or died. But the humans, what are they doing with them? He demanded. Vac hesitated. We don't know. No distress signals. No transmissions. Had the humans found a way to suppress Z communications? Or worse, had they eliminated every captured soldier so swiftly that no signals were even sent? He issued an immediate command. Deploy counter-tracking teams. Find our warriors. Eliminate this resistance. The teams descended cautiously. They followed the last known locations of their missing comrades. The first team found movement near an abandoned city. They entered, weapons ready. Then the screaming started. The transmission came through in broken bursts, agonized voices, gunfire, and then silence. Moments later, their beacon went dark. What did this? Yellcraft demanded. Vac examined the data, his voice uneasy. No energy weapons detected. The humans used physical force. Bladed weapons. Blunt strikes. They overwhelmed our soldiers. Yellcraft narrowed his eyes. How many humans were there? Vac swallowed. 6. Silence stretched through the war chamber. 6 humans had butchered an entire squad of Z warriors. Vac clicked his mandibles. We thought humans were weak. They are not. A new transmission appeared. A visual feed from a retreating officer. Z soldiers hung upside down from human vehicles. Their armor was stripped. Their bodies lifeless. Their eyes were gone. A chill crept through Yellcraft's spine. This isn't war, Vac murmured. This is something else. For the first time in history, the Z Empire retreated. Earth remained unconquered, and the humans remained undefeated.